grab your coffee or tea or smoothie, whatever you drink at this hour. It could be a different time for you. It's 10 o'clock for me. So coffee is great. I didn't have time to make coffee today though, so I'm drinking water. But grab whatever you drink, and let's have coffee and chat today. So today we're going to be talking about your mindset. And if you're here with us today, I'd love a happy face, a thumbs up, smile, whatever it is. And if you're watching this later, I would love to hear your input too. I will look back at the comments and we can talk, because I know it doesn't work for everybody this time frame or this time. So please interact, and I'd love to hear things that you think about, or I have a question for you at the end. It's very just fun question. Plus, I have some exciting things about next coffee chat. So please stay to the end and find out what that next coffee chat's all about. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. We talk about some serious stuff, and we talk about stress, and we're going to have some fun. So please stick by, and I'm going to try and keep these a little shorter. We've gotten away to like a half hour, and I know we as moms are super busy. So I'm going to try and rein it back a little bit. I do love to talk, but I will try, and we're going to shorten it up just a little bit. And I'd love to hear your opinion on that too. Has it half hour? Was 15 minutes? Like, what is a good time for you? I would love to hear your opinions. You matter, and your opinions matter, and I would really love you to share. So before I go on some crazy thing and use up more time, let's get right down to the mindset. And picking the mindset is really came up for me personally, because I found last week I got into this not great mindset. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I thinking like this? And when our mindset isn't very positive, it's really easy to spiral into a really bad place really quickly. It can also be good if you're thinking positive thoughts. It can really snowball as well. So it got me thinking that it's time to do a mindset check. Kids are going back to school. September has always felt like a new year to me, even without kids. Just because the summer, the busyness, everything's kind of getting back into normal. And maybe, your workout routine changed, or, meditation. If you had kids at home, things can kind of shift a little bit. So it's really getting back to the basics, back to just being you. And that's why we're doing a mindset check today. I'm so excited. I'm just going to ask a couple questions, and it's really just to get you centered and focusing on your mindset. And what is your mindset like today, or this past week, or the weekend, so I'm just going to share a quote with you. Actually, I shared, if you get my emails, this would have been in the email I sent, but I thought it was really, there's a couple of quotes that I actually shared, and this one's, very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So it's really, there isn't much to have. It really has to do with our mind. I was trying to find a statistic because it's high, and I don't know for sure, and I couldn't find the statistic that I was looking for. Like, our minds control so much of our life, of what we do. It really starts with the mind. And if that's not in a good place, then everything in our life is going to spiral. If your mind is thinking, oh, this is not a fun experience, it's not going to be a fun experience. So your mind's really the base of everything in your life. And that's why I just felt it was really a good time to do a mindset check and really just, get in line and really think about what you're thinking about. So I'm going to share a couple things about what happened with me. Like I said before, last week I was focused on why is this so hard for me? Why me? I was becoming a victim. I was focusing on why things weren't working. Why am I feeling like this? Just going down this rabbit hole of not a fun thing. And like I said, it's so easy to just keep going until I was talking to my business manager and my business coach. And I already got my mind kind of rechecked in. I already knew what was happening. And part of it is not beating yourself up when you feel bad or when you go down these rabbit holes of negative thoughts. It's starting to become aware of when you have them so you can shift them. There's nothing wrong with having them, but it's about knowing that they're happening so you can shift them. So that was last week. I was like, okay, I'm not thinking in a positive way. This is not serving me, but it happens. A big area of my life that I keep, not having a hard time mindsetting is I always say to myself, I'm so tired. Well, that's also not helpful because I'm stating that I'm tired. So even my husband and I, because we're still not sleeping through the night, we instead sometimes we're like, we have so much energy instead of saying we're tired. So it's really just trying to shift your thought. And it's actually meaning it when you say it though. So we even, throw out some energy when we do that. And it's actually funny when you say though, if you say those two lines, like, I'm so tired, you actually feel heavy. And it's like, I have so much energy. You actually feel light and energetic. So if there's any area in your life that you're really struggling with, or even just in life in general, say two lines, two sentences, and see which one your body likes more. So it could be anything. And it's really just listening to your body. When we say negative thoughts, it feels heavy. We sound heavy. And when we're more positive, we're lighter. So I wanted to share another quote with you, and I have to really read this one because it's a little longer. Your mindset matters. It affects everything, from business, investments, decisions you make, to the way you raise your kids or children, to your stress levels and your overall well-being. Your mindset matters. And I already said that. It plans everything. And I'd love to share with you my wins. So I shared, I've definitely had some major fails. And I don't even like to call them fails. I did in my email out, my failures, my wins. But I really look at them as learning experiences and eye-opening, and really it's becoming aware of my mind. There would have been years ago where I would have just kept going down that rabbit hole of negative thoughts and not caught myself in like 10 minutes. Actually, it might have been a couple hours this time. But, you can get into a rabbit hole and stay there for a day, a week, a month, and look back and be like, man, where was I? What was I doing with that month? And a win of mine actually just happened today. My daughter was having, her little, she's 3.5, and she was having, excuse me, sorry. She was having her little tantrum. We're trying to get her out the door for school. It's her 4th day of school. And she's having her meltdown. I don't want to go. And, a kid thing. And I could have been like, oh man, this sucks. Here we go again. And really just be like, just like, come on, let's get out the door. We're late. All this stuff. I did not. I paused for a minute. Sometimes it's in the pause that's the best, because if we just start doing something, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with somebody and you all of a sudden say something you regret because you didn't think about it first. It's kind of with our mind too. Just really pause. What's going on for me? This is kind of where you can do a quick little mindset check. Okay, what's going on? And listen to my intuition. And what I did was like, let's not focus on getting out the door right now as much as focusing on why she loves to go to school. So they actually gave us this booklet about forest school, because that's where she's going. And the classrooms, it has the pictures and activities. And I grabbed that. I said, this book actually, they just gave it to us last night, so it's perfect timing. And I said, let's look at this book that they gave you. It's really for you. I was looking at it last night, but let's look at it. And could you, and I was just asking her questions about school, like, oh, where do you have lunch? Because they have a picture of their lunch table in the classroom, and they have an indoor tree fort, and just different things. I'm asking her questions about it. And eventually she's like, let's go to, like, what are we doing here? Let's go to forest school. So it's taking a step back. And we're going to get into this a little bit more, but it's not focusing on the problem. The problem is we're late for school. I need to get my daughter out the door. The solution, how can I get her to think differently or focus on a different matter than actually the problem? Like, if we just focus on the problem, we can't come up with a solution. So that was a really fun moment for me, because it literally shifted in, like, we could have been battling, we could have been fighting and struggling, the power struggle between a toddler and parents for a good half hour or more, maybe a little less, but less than 5 minutes. Grab the book, have a conversation. Completely changed, like, just completely different mindset. So keep that in mind when you have something come up for you. Pause, think about it, and yeah, listen to your intention. Listen to your intuition. Every time I do, it's amazing. Same with potty training. We had a huge struggle, and literally that day when I listened to my intuition, we changed it, and she's been told trains ever since. So it's really just taking those moments and switching. It's a really amazing. When you don't focus on the problem, you focus on the solution. So let's just see. So yeah, having a positive mindset. When you have a positive mindset, I think most of us already know that when you have a positive mindset, how amazing it can be. A rainy day, some people complain that it's rainy, and I actually love rainy days. I look at them as, this is a great day to just listen to the rain. But I could be like, oh man, if I go outside I get wet, or you can just think of a million different things on either end. It's like, oh, it's raining, yeah, I don't have to water the garden. Just different things. Anything in our life has two sides, a negative side and a positive side. And a lot of the people that are negative all the time, it's funny because the same person could have the same life and be super happy. Here's what they focus on. So that brings it to my next point. What do you do when you're in a negative mindset? Well, there's a couple things. First, you need to be aware that you have a negative mindset going on. And meditation's really good. Even just being one with yourself. So it doesn't have to be crazy about laying on the floor or sitting perfectly and listening to a music or different meditations. It can just actually just being at one, like just being at peace, just sitting there and just being aware of your thoughts, and when they come up, seeing what they are. And another one is practicing gratitude. This is a big one. When you are focusing on everything that you love about your life, there's less room for all that negative self-talk, self-thoughts, or negative talk, self-talk. So when you're finding yourself in a negative mindset, start thinking about all the things that you love about your life, or love about that thing that's happening that's making you feel negative. Could be your kids, having a tantrum. Well, I love my kids. And this can be tricky, and it comes with practice. Trust me, I am not perfect at this. I would never ever say that I am, because it happens, but it's being mindful of when those situations happen. And the more you do it, the less, the faster you'll catch it, and you can switch it out. And yeah, it's really, the big one is gratitude. I would look at anything in your life and just like me, it just, like, okay, she loves forest school. So it wasn't making that blow up situation this morning, wasn't being made about me, like, oh, maybe she's not ready to go to school, or, oh man, she's not happy about school, or putting any emotions into it. It's like, okay, she's just having a little meltdown. And this is actually the first time that she's gone. This will be, she started, it was that there's a holiday Monday, so then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She's been going, this will be 3 days straight. Today she's feeling like she wanted to stay home. So it's really figuring out what she's going through. And it's not always about us. So really just taking that emotion out of us and figuring out what's going on with them or a situation. So if you have what I would love to hear what you do when you get into a mindset. Is it journaling, figuring out where these thoughts come up? Because another one, and it's something I do with my clients, is figuring out where these thoughts come from. Because they come somewhere. When we're beating ourselves up, perfectionism, guilt from something, we really just, it's coming from a place of probably from our childhood. And I really help figure out where those thoughts come from so we can really change those thoughts. But the quick thing is gratitude. It's really just changing your focus. And it's time to do the mind or actually before I do the mind step check, actually I just realized I want to do a couple quick things. I read that quote, so that's awesome. So I also said we want to set our intentions for 2017, the rest of it. We have just under 4 months left of 2017. Maybe you have some goals or some ideas of where you wanted to be at the end of 2017. I'm here to just say you have time. You can get a lot accomplished in that time. It only takes 9 months, well, 10, but really, to have a baby. 3 or 4, almost 4 months. Just think about the time that you can do in that. Probably not a great use of description or use, but just think of like what you can do in 4 months. Like our garden was full bloom before then. Like there's a lot that can happen in just 4 months. It's setting your intentions and figuring out. Sorry, I hear his son crying in the background. He's safe, my husband. But it's just setting your intentions. Is it just to do a mindset check-in? And it doesn't have to be with the questions I have. It can just be as simple as, what am I thinking about right now? So if you want, you can have a piece of paper down. You can re-listen to the video later because it will be just left up on the page or in the group. There's only, I think it's 5. Yes, 5 questions. And it's really just kind of, you can ask yourself different questions. It's really about being mindful of your mindset. So, question 1. Do you have more bad days than good days? And it should just be quick, like just, you probably know, like, oh man, yeah, I have a lot of bad days. Or I have a lot of good days. Or you're in the middle. What is the first thing you think about in the morning? What is the first thing you think about? What's the first thing you even do in the morning? I'm going to come back and explain these a little bit, but I don't want to put my own personal things on here until you have till you wrote them down or you think about them. And number 3, what is the last thing you think about before going to bed? When you have a problem, and we've talked about this a little bit, when you have a problem, do you focus on the problem or the solution? Where does your thoughts usually fall? And how often do you complain throughout your day? So let's go quickly over these. So if you have good days or bad days, it really is all about perspective here. Like I said before, two people could have the exact same lives, living the exact same kind of things could come up the same situations, and one still remains happy and the other one's miserable. It's about looking at it. And if you find like, oh, I have, like in between days, that means you're, half the time you are focusing on the positive things in your life and looking at it a positive way. And the other half, you're looking at a negative. There's absolutely no shame or blame. It's just becoming aware. If you think you're having a lot of bad days, it's time to really look at why, what mindset you have through it, and really just becoming aware of it and shifting your mindset. So that's a big one. It's kind of, it's a tricky way. It's thinking about like the half glass. It's the same question, just worded different. It's really the half glass full or half empty. That's really all it is. Is your day good or bad? It's up to you. And then what is the first thing you think about in the morning or do in the morning? Is it like, oh man, here's another day. I have to get up and do this or that. And it's like, what do you do in the morning? What I've been really trying to be doing is like, okay, today something awesomely amazing is going to happen to me. That's actually from the book Thanking. I think that's in that one, Thanking Grow Rich. Pam Grouch writes some amazing books about gratitude. So if that's something that you are really wanting to know more about, as she writes some really amazing books. And it's just setting your set up and be like, something awesomely amazing is going to happen to me today. And it's like, today, I woke up and, you can hear the kids screaming. It's like, I got this. Instead of going like, oh boy, here we go again. Let's get on with this and let's start. It's really just being like, let's do this. I got this. Things are going to be amazing. Now, because I talk with a lot of moms, there are some really cool things that you can do. You can lay in bed for, 5 minutes and half hour, well, whatever you have time for, and really visualize your day. Like think about what you want for your day, setting intentions. Now, if you're a mom with young children, unless you can wake up a lot earlier than them, I personally decide to sleep as long as I can because I'm up throughout the night and I want to get as much sleep as possible. But if you can do little rituals that will help set your day up. But that's up to you and your lifestyle. If you have kids, if you're still in bed and the kids are jumping on you in the morning, it's really hard to really do anything else and then take care of your kids. So it's really, like my husband's really good about taking the kids and letting me have a couple minutes just in the morning to get my head in the game. And then, so this comes to the next one. In the evening, what do you think about before going to bed? Are you like, oh man, I have to do this tomorrow, this, or are you replaying situations in your head and overanalyzing your day? Because here's the thing. It already happened. You can't change it. However, you can change your mindset. And I personally go to bed. Now, I might actually fall asleep doing this, but I lay in bed and I think about all the things I'm grateful for. Every little thing. And I usually fall asleep with it. So I'm already laying the seed for gratitude while I'm sleeping. Because I'm a night person, not a morning person, and my kids are just ready to go in the morning when I'm not quite fully awake, I do a lot of my stuff in the evenings. Journaling, practicing gratitude, and just being present with myself. And usually if I'm out of time meditating, or else it just ends up falling asleep. But even if you can't fit in a meditation, I personally think that gratitude, sharing what you're grateful for, is a good way to focus. And it's just really thinking positive before bed instead of over analyzing. Like I've definitely found where I might have had a stressful day and I'm thinking about the day or replaying situations. Like I used to do that. And now I'm pretty much like, when I go to bed, it's gratitude. And I'm only awake for like a couple minutes and then I'm out. So I'm not stressing about what happened. I'm not worried about the next day. I already wrote down my to-do list. That doesn't matter anymore. It's being grateful for what I have. And it really puts this place. The other thing is, if I'm not overly tired yet and I've gotten through all my gratitude, is I visualize, like just said about the morning, is you can actually visualize your morning. Or visualize, yeah, how would you like to see your morning play out? Is it that the kids sleep in a little bit so you can actually have some time? Or that you wake up energetic, and it's just, how are you going to go throughout the day? It's just visualizing your day, setting intentions for the next day. So if it's not really doable in the morning, the evening's also another great time. It really depends on you. I'm a firm believer that just because somebody says, "Oh, do it this way," or "I do it this way," and they lay out a huge plan and it works for them, that's great. You have your own life, your own personalities, and your kids are, you have kids and they're different ages, and you gotta find what works best for you. So it's figuring out what time of day works best for you. Maybe when you're working, you can take your lunch hour and just be grateful there. It really is up to you of where I know people that have gone to their car at lunch hour and sit there and relax or even have a nap. So it really depends on your lifestyle and what works best for you. One of the biggest things is not, I think one of the biggest stressors in life is trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. So somebody's giving you all these ideas or this plan, like this is my routine. I found that with, I love Robin Sharma, and I love the idea of the 5 a.m. club, where he says, wake up at 5 a.m. and, have this hour to yourself. And that is great. And it's probably more doable when you have older children. Or once, like, I can get to bed earlier and I'm all about good night's sleep. So if I don't have a good night's sleep, I'm going to be miserable in the morning. And that 5 a.m. club is going to look horrible to me. And I've tried that before, but it's trying to fit myself into something that I'm not. So don't beat yourself up if something that somebody else does not work. It's figuring out what works for you. It's all with that mindset. And so we talked about the problem and the solution. Or hold on, yeah, we were talking about the nighttime. Yeah, so problem and your solution. We already kind of talked about that earlier today, or earlier on Coffee Chat, and it's really just about focusing on the solution. How? Instead of like, man, why is this happening? Or, just really in it, but how can I solve it? Like, instead of figuring out why the problems have been happening in the first place, like, why me, or why is this happening to me? We fall in that trap. How can I fix this? How can I make this better? How can I shift this to something good? There's always a solution. And if it doesn't come to you right away, don't beat yourself up. Reach out to people. That's what this community is for. We can reach out and talk as moms. You don't have to have it all together all the time. And then how often do you complain throughout the day? It is amazing how much we can complain. It can be about the weather, a person, work. Oh man, it's Monday again. Or for me, and I've said this before, just earlier today in Coffee Chat, I'm so tired. That is a complaint. And it's catching myself when I say it. You complain about like, oh, my body hurts. I caught myself that this morning I was, grunting and grunting because I did some power walking yesterday from picking up my daughter from school and then running somewhere else, and my body's feeling it. So I was complaining about it to myself in my head and making the noises. So it's really just checking in, be like, okay, got this. My muscles are just, loving the new muscles. I use my muscles in a different way that they haven't been for a while. I haven't power walked in a little while. So be gentle to yourself, be kind, and really just check in with what you're thinking. And if any of this time that you did have a negative thought about yourself, check in with that. That's a mindset. It's like, oh, I'm a horrible person for doing this, or whatever showed up for you. I don't want to put my own thoughts or ideas of what could be going on in your head, but really just center. And like, did something show up for you? Did I hit a nerve when I talked about something? And that's also being mindful and about your mindset. So I said at the end of Coffee Chat, and I didn't keep it shorter. I'm so sorry. Somehow half an hour is just perfect. So I would love to hear, is a half hour too long? Do I need to figure out how to shorten it? Or is a half an hour okay for you? I would love to hear your thoughts. I really would. And the question I had for you is, I would love to hear what area of your life you have a problem, or not a problem even, a hard time having a positive mindset about. Is it work? Your kids? Are they just driving you up a wall all the time and all you see is like craziness? Is it yourself? Are you always beating yourself up? You look in the mirror like, oh my goodness, I'm a mess, or, my nose, my eyes, whatever it might be. Your partner, you're always looking at the negative in your partner. Oh man, why does he always leave clothes on the floor? Or like just focusing always on the negative things about them. Is it around a family member? Or is it just life in general? I would love to hear what area it is. And like I said, mine was always, and I still fall into it sometimes, is saying I'm tired. It doesn't help. Of course I'm tired, but I don't need to repeat that a million times in my day. I'm not tired. I'm energetic. So I would love to hear, what area of your life is the hardest to kind of get your mindset, that you fall into your negative mindset often. I'd love to hear it, or the most. I'd love to hear. And then this comes to the exciting news. Next week, well, this is exciting for me. I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. Next week, I am opening Coffee Chat up to ask me anything. You can ask me anything. Personal, business, family, motherhood, empowerment coaching, whatever it is that maybe you've been watching these videos and you're just wondering questions and you haven't. If you can't come live, I would love if you'd message me, and like, you can comment below. Sorry. Comment below. Or if you want to do it in private, just send me a message. And I would love to hear from you. Now, to fill in the gaps, if I don't have enough people, I will look up questions that other moms are having difficulties with. I will do some big digging and see what's going out there. But I would love to serve you. You're here, and I would love to know what it is. It could be anything. And this is the time to pick my brain. And I would love to know ahead, if possible. If you are live, that's great. If you could just come up with a question. But if it's a really deep question, I would love to know ahead so I can really get in tuned with it. But when I show up to Coffee Chat, I am here. I am present, and I'm not thinking about anything else other than 2 seconds ago, or 2 seconds there where my son's like really loud. And I'm like, oh, right, he's awake. But I'm here for you. So I do tap into my intuition and be really present, and I'm really there for you here on Coffee Chat. And that's probably why I've always been about a half hour long, because that's kind of where I've gotten to. But I can change that. So I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. Please share. And I look forward to next week, where I will share whatever it is that you'd like. Ask me anything. I don't know how often I'll do this, so take this opportunity now. I hope you have a beautiful day, and your mind is all awesome, and your mindset is just superb. Bye for now. Have a beautiful day.